Do you ever feel like you're constantly wrestling with yourself to stay disciplined as a freelancer? I know I do. And maybe it's that nagging guilt when you take a break, or that idea that you just are never doing enough. The issue is, it's an outdated idea about work and success that clash with the reality of directing yourself day in and day out. Hello friends, my name's Jerry, and today we're going to completely rethink our idea of discipline. Not as a battle against yourself, but as a powerful match between who you are, what you care about, and how you like to work. By the end of this video, you'll have a fresh take on what discipline actually means for us self-employed workers, and some simple ways to make it feel less like punishment and more like progress. So let's dive in. Picture this: I've just finished university, I'm working in a design firm, and I'm working these hours 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. Yeah, I know that we've all got to grind at first. This was unpaid. I was completely stressed out and actually questioning my entire career choice because I thought, this can't be what it's all meant to be. This is not what I studied for. But then something happened and I left, and then I compare that to working in a graphical studio when I was assisting, and sometimes we'd finished at 2 a.m. but we were looked after, we were fed, we were paid well, we were paid for overtime, we were supported, and we were trained. Still really tough work, but completely different. Why? Because we were paid well, we were fairly treated and respected, and we were working together as a team, where in the design job you got told off if you asked for support. And that contrast really taught me something important. It's not just about working hard, it's about the conditions, the fairness, the respect, the environment, the resources, and the purpose. Most of us are still operating from ideas that we picked up elsewhere, mainly school, the hustle culture, other people's idea of what it is to work, previous jobs, family, and the hustle harder messages that are always on social media. The 5 a.m. club, the 4 a.m. club, next it will be the 2 a.m. club. And then when these ideas don't match our freelancing reality, we don't question the ideas, we begin to question ourselves as if we are the ones that have the issue. And that's not necessarily true. The first step towards discipline isn't about working harder. It's recognizing that these hand-me-down stories exist, but also choosing what actually works for us. What do we actually want, and how do we want to get it? The stories that we tell ourselves about who we are super powerful. It shapes what actions feel possible and what effort feels right for us. I really like this quote by a gentleman called James Clear, and it goes like this: focus on becoming the kind of person who would naturally do those things, rather than forcing yourself to do them. Think about it this way: trying to force yourself to do something you don't want to do is like swimming against the current. It's exhausting and it's really hard to maintain. But when you change how you see yourself first, then the actions become easier to do, and they start to flow a little bit more naturally. For example, this is how I try and do it with everything that I create. Instead of saying I need to be disciplined and write every day, I add the identity that I am a writer and I'm happy to write. So that when you sit down and you truly believe, oh, actually one of my skill sets is I'm a writer, then you feel happier to do it. Yes, you're going to get friction when you start, because it is still a difficult challenge, but everything comes with practice and learning. The more that you can build upon that skill set, the easier it will become. It's the difference between dragging yourself to the gym because you think you should go, and go because you are an active, healthy person. When I get there, sometimes I don't want to do it, sometimes it's difficult, but I don't force myself to go because I think I should go to get healthy. And I experienced this identity shift dramatically when COVID happened, the big C, we don't talk about it, because I just associated myself as a photographer. But actually during that period, which was a long period for some of us, it was like 4 years, I needed to start doing other things. I worked with a company and did sales, which I actually was really good at. I went back to university and started studying philosophy and psychology, which I really loved, and I started writing. And yes, at first everything had a little friction, but because I was willing to branch out and not just call myself a photographer, I opened myself up to a lot more opportunities that I realized I really enjoyed doing. This allowed me to become a business owner with different creative skill sets, trying research, writing, sales, videos, public speaking. It wasn't just adding skills, it was expanding who I allowed myself to be. And that bigger identity made trying new things feel natural more than forced. Because I know, as someone who's self-employed and has been self-employed since they were 18, that there is a real kind of conflict between wanting to be a free spirit, but also craving that consistent income. But these aren't contradictions that you actually need to eliminate. Often, discipline feels fake when your rigid plan crashes with your basic needs to have freedom and choice. Narrow identity keeps you locked on one path and really vulnerable when the road changes. While a flexible identity, this lets you navigate the changing conditions while keeping you on path to your chosen destination. Because I'm not just this or that, I'm a business owner, I'm a CEO of my life, meaning that I need to bring in other possibilities and opportunities that are going to arise to expand my life, my mind, my identity. If this approach was at all interesting or helpful in any way, please hit the subscribe button and tap that notification bell. Remember that true discipline isn't all about punishment. It's about alignment and devotion. I'm Jerry. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.